Welcome to the Happy Beyond Fit podcast with Maria Browning, former synchronized swimmer from Colombia turned into a lifestyle entrepreneur. I have also been a Zumba education specialist for 18 years. I like calling this series of conversations for my podcast as biographies of greatness. I enjoy listening to other people's conversations because I feel that it helps me to expand. It helps me to be more certain on certain beliefs because as I listen to people asking each other questions and their views in life, it helps me to reinforce my own views as well as it helps me to challenge my own views because sometimes when I listen to their perspective, I am like, interesting. I've never thought about it. I like to have this new perspective in life. So I feel that I get to upgrade my own belief system every time I listen to interesting conversations. So that's the reason why I'm inviting people that I am interested in to have these conversations with me. And I am asking them if it is okay that I make them public as one of the episodes of my podcast. So in today's episode, I have invited a girl that I have been admiring from afar for a long time. She happened to take one of my Zumba trainings in 2019. And boy, was she memorable. Her talent was very obvious to the point that very early into the training, I stopped and came to her and told her, where have you been hiding that we didn't know you existed with all of these talents? That's how talented she is. And then a few years later, she ended up winning one of Zumba's contests, which is called the Next Rising Star. And that's when the Zumba world got to experience the MoJo experience. Her name is Morgan Brown. She goes by MoJo. And because she won this contest, she was given the opportunity to film one of the zine volumes. So more people got to meet her. And then in this past convention in 2023, she was invited to be the co-host or master of ceremonies for the kickoff session, which is a huge deal. So my main takeaways is that sometimes what appears to be obvious is not. Sometimes we assume that success works at a certain way and that when you get more exposure and your name and face becomes more popular, that equals success or more job opportunities or more financial gains. But it doesn't necessarily mean that. It takes a lot of skills for you to decipher how this game works. And it's beautiful to hear it from Morgan, to hear her big realizations and her struggles and how she has been learning in the process how this business works and how to take better advantage of the opportunities that are given to her. Another big takeaway that I have is that you don't necessarily need to have a certain clear vision of what you want in life in order for you to become successful. Sometimes you just have to love what you do. And when you love it so much and do it with so much passion, the universe just takes care of it and gives you more opportunities. So there's a lot of amazing things to absorb from this conversation. Please take a moment to click on follow on Spotify or subscribe to my YouTube channel. It will help me greatly to continue to grow this project so that we can continue to enjoy these conversations with a different guest every week. Okay, so first of all, I'm very curious about your awesome wall. When I see you on videos, I am a little distracted by your awesome wall. So it's like sometimes I find myself no longer looking at you because I'm like, wow, look at all of these. I'm sure everything means something. Okay, so go
I
for it.
think everybody is always distracted by the wall. They're always like, "That's your wall. Like you're great, but your wall." So yeah. So me and my husband had where we wanted to have iconic African American figures that we respect and love in our home, and so we started researching like the people that we want and finding really cool photos, whether it's direct photos like the Muhammad Ali one or like artistic ones like in the middle. And then we just frame them and just have added to the collection of people. But it is very iconic in the sense of like these are people that have influenced culture, influenced like politics or art or anything like that. So it's really it's an awesome
So can you
project that
mention
keeps it.
briefly all of the names, name dropping, all the people in your wall?
Oh my gosh. So we have Jamie Foxx, we have Malcolm X, RuPaul, Tina Turner. We have Motown like as a collaborative, Simone Biles, Sam Cooke, Venus and Serena, Harry Tubman, Booker T. Washington, Maya Angelou, Cree Summer, the Alvin Ailey Dance Studio Company, Rick Bridges, Bob Marley, Allison Felix, Tracy Ellis Ross, Basquiat, Stevie Wonder, Angela Davis, Coretta, and Martin Luther King, Michelle Barack, James. We have Beyonce and Jay-Z, Frederick Douglass, Muhammad Ali, Chadwick, Aretha Franklin, Regina King, LeBron James.
No comedians? They didn't make it to your wall?
Dave Chappelle is right there. Dave Chappelle is like our favorite and like the most influential for us.
Yeah,
So we have him there.
for everybody.
Uh, yeah. Kobe Bryant, Ivy Wells, John Lewis, James Baldwin, everybody, Spike Lee. See, they got everybody. Yeah.
So how
Those
long
are the
did the
people.
whole process take?
Since we started, it's been 2 years, and we still have more because we have more walls.
Did this project start during pandemic because that's when you started teaching virtually? Or was it for social media?
It started during the pandemic. It was just a little idea that we had, and the place to put it was on that wall directly behind where I was teaching. Like that was the only wall we had in our other home. And so then we moved here. This is the wall, and this also happens to be the area where I teach.
So it is for you, or your husband also teaches anything with that wall in the background?
Just me. He does not teach anything.
Okay, well, because I've seen him dancing with you and in some videos with you. What does he do for a living?
He works in financial management for New York Life. So he's a finance
Okay.
manager. Mm-hmm.
So he's just a very fun guy and he joins you every now and then on videos and has a good time.
Yes, he is super supportive, and yeah, he loves to dance, but he's not teaching.
Okay, baby. So today I want to get to know you because I met you when you took my Rhythms 2 training in, I actually searched it up on my email and it was in 2019. So did you take this training
Yeah.
because you were already applying for the next Rising Star?
Yes.
What led you to doing this for a living? Dancing, teaching dance or fitness for a living? What's your background? Are you trained in fitness, in dance? Are you an athlete?
Yeah. A little bit of everything actually. So I've been doing dance, ballet, tap, and jazz, like more of a Broadway essence of dance since I was 3. And I did that consistently until I graduated high school. And then I went to college and I graduated with a degree in exercise science. So I had the exercise background. And then I moved back home and I
So
wasn't
you started
using.
it when you were 3. Obviously, you didn't choose it at 3. So it was your parents' dream for you to become a dancer.
So they actually say like I was always dancing. And so like I was always moving and I loved music and stuff. And so they were like, okay, we're gonna put her in a dance class and see if she likes it. And then I did. And so they just kept me in dance classes, and they always said if you ever wanted to stop, of course we stopped, but I loved it. I loved dancing.
You never ever wanted to stop?
No. There's
Wow,
something
that's impressive.
like in me that like wants to dance. So anytime I get a chance to, I'm gonna take it. Um, and so especially with classes and stuff and learning, I always wanted that. And I think with Zumba, it opened up another portal to that because I wasn't doing that type of. I've never done that type of dance before. Like I've done ballet and point and floor work and all that type of stuff. So doing a salsa was my first time ever was doing a salsa in Zumba. and like having to learn all of that.
So while you were growing up, you were competing while you were doing all these dances, or how is the world in ballet? Do you do performances or competitions, or how does it
Yeah.
work?
I didn't do the competition circuit. I did the performances, the recitals, things like that. So we take the whole year. They teach us, the techniques based on our age and our level, proficiency level. And then at the end of the year, we have a recital that shows everything that we've learned in a routine format. And so it was a show. Like my studio put on a whole 2 hour show. So we had numerous costume changes, numerous routines. Everything was very big, theatrical. So that's what I did growing up.
And your parents were able to afford all of these because that is very expensive. So it was no problem for them.
No, it wasn't.
Are you an
It's
only
crazy. Like
child or you have siblings?
I have siblings. So I have talked to, like, now that I'm older as an adult and I talk to my parents about, like, we got a lot of things growing up. I did dance. My sister did competitive basketball. So that whole circuit of like traveling and the shoes and like all of that. And same with my brother. And then he did swimming. So competitive swimming. And then we went to private school. And like, I just never remember wanting for anything, even though I wasn't spoiled in the sense of, oh, I want this and they get it. But I never remember not having something that like I wanted or needed. And so talking to them as an adult, like, how did you guys do that? Like, that's crazy with 3 kids. And they say like a lot
Insane.
of,
And
like,
the time. Like, who will take
yeah,
you? One will take you and the other one will take your sibling? Or how did it work?
it's very much that. One would take one, the other would take the other. When I started driving, they started utilizing me. So I was taking myself to class, taking myself to school, dropping my siblings off at school, picking them up, like doing all of that. So, but they really did like sacrifice and really put in work for us to do the things that we were passionate about doing. And I'm so grateful for them for that because it's huge.
So when you were getting ready to choose a career, did you have it clear what you wanted to do?
And I, as well as like dancing since I was young, I always wanted to be a pediatrician. And it's crazy because I was saying that as well when I was like 3 or 4, that I wanted to be not a doctor, a pediatrician, like very specific. And so I grew up with that like my whole life. So I'm going to college. I'm going to do English as my major and pre-med track. That was the plan. And I got to college, and that first year I burned out really bad. I had done so much preparing to go to school and to have, like, I graduated high school with a 4.01 GPA. I was doing dance. I played basketball. I was captain of basketball team. I was doing all these community efforts. Like, I did so much. And so when I got to college, loaded my schedule. I think I did like 21 credits the first semester, which is insane. And I burned out immediately. And I didn't know what to do with my life anymore after that. I had really, really bad depression and anxiety over
For how long?
what. The first year was very, very hard for me. The first year of college was pretty difficult. The second year, I switched majors like 3 times because I was trying to figure out what else I wanted to do.
So
Again, my
tell me,
parents were like,
from
oh,
what to what? What were the changes?
I I went from English to kinesiology. So I did go to exercise science first. Then I went, okay, I'm going to do a pre-law track. And so I'm going to go back to English, but I'm going to do a minor in communications and then do pre-law. And then from there, I forget what the third one was, but then eventually junior year, I went back to exercise science because my parents were like, what do you have the most credits in at this point? Because you've taken all types of classes. What do you have the most credits? That is what you were graduating with. Because my
So it
sister
was
was
pretty much
directly about,
based on helping you to finish, to get it over with before
yes,
you really throw the
yes,
towel. Okay.
yes. especially because my sister was coming in right after me. And so my parents were like, we cannot pay for both of you in college at the same time. So you have to finish in 4 years. So whatever you have the most in, that's what you're going. Exercise science was the track
Okay.
at the end of
So
the
tell me what happens. Well, how old are you? You're like 31?
32.
Two. Okay. So tell me what's
Yeah.
the process when you finish college and you have your degree, but you still don't know what to do with your life, right? So what was the
Right.
next step? What did you do after that?
And so I moved back home and I just got a side job. Like I just got a job. Where was I?
Doing what?
I worked for Geico because they provided
Okay.
benefits. And it was good pay and it was a steady job. And so I had to learn a lot about insurance, which I have so much random knowledge about car insurance. It's ridiculous.
That's
So I
good.
did that
Comes
for
in
a couple of
handy.
years. Yes, I guess so. Like, it's so random. So, like I just think about things. But I did that for a couple of years. And then I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like it was draining me. And then I got the opportunity to be a nanny. So I was a nanny for this family for 2 years. And that was an interesting experience because I do like working with kids. Like that was cool. But in regards to being a nanny, I'm not sure if I really liked it. It was very demanding. It
Uh-huh. How old were the kids?
was only one. And when I started, she was 2. She was
Ooh,
so sweet, like the smartest kid in the world. Never like she didn't go through terrible twos, which was really cool. Like I called her
thank
my
God.
my best friend, my little. She was amazing. But just being a nanny was an interesting experience.
During all this time, the 2 years in Geico, 2 years nanny, you were no longer dancing? You stopped it cold turkey?
I had stopped when I moved back home and I started working at Geico. I think like my second year into Geico is when my mom was like, you should teach Zumba, which is what I'm paying this monthly membership for, and you're not using it. So you should do that. Because my mom got me into Zumba. She was taking classes while I was in school. And she would tell me about like all her classes and like how she loves it and like all this stuff. And she always said that I would be a really good instructor. And I was like, I'm not doing Zumba. I don't know what that is. That's mom stuff. Like, I'm not doing that. And so then he signed me up for my B1 because they came on my college campus to do B1 training. So she signed me up and told me,
And you had never
you need to
taken
be
a
here at
Zumba
this time.
class?
No,
Oh, wow.
no.
So it was not enjoyable.
Okay, this is embarrassing. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't think it was going to be a whole day. So I was not prepared. And then it was on a Sunday and I'm in college. And so I went out the night before with my friend. And so I rolled in there like not coherent. You know, like I have a bad headache. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like, what are we doing? And then it starts with the master class. I was like, oh my God, what is happening right now? Oh, so we're done now. Are we finished? No, now we're gonna do the first section. What? First section? How many sections are there? Like, it was a
So
rush
you were
time
just trying to make it through the day, that you were
yeah,
really not present in that room.
at all. At all. I don't even remember who the trainer was. I have no idea who
Don't
the
worry,
Zest was.
baby. You're not the only one. There are many like you. And because of that, we, the Zesses, know to tell people do not go out partying the night before. Stay hydrated. Bring water. Bring food for the day. Bring a change of clothes. We know
I
better because we have had plenty like you.
think because my mom signed me up, she got the email. I didn't get that information. She just told me to show
Okay.
up. You know, I had no idea what the day was going to be. I
And
think we should blame it on her.
yes, let's do that. It was all on your mother. Yes. So you quick note. If you are thinking about becoming a Zumba instructor, check out my page, mariabrowning.zumba.com, as you see it written down here, so that you can check out my upcoming virtual trainings that I teach weekly. You take the training in 8 hours. You get the license to teach Zumba classes, and we teach this training through Zoom. So get ready because, yes, in only one day, you're going to learn everything that you need to know to understand the Zumba program and to know how to better prepare to start teaching your classes and experience success. Get ready to change your life and make your passion your career. Register for a Zumba training. You finished the training and you did not learn anything, did not get inspired at all, did not pay attention to Zumba for how long?
About 2 years. So I didn't do it while I was in college. I had it my
And she was
senior
paying for
year.
the gym membership for 2 years. Nobody was using it. Oh, Jesus. Okay. The things we do for
I
our
can
kids.
hang out, right? That was when they were making DVDs. So they were just like stacking up in a pile in my room at home. And I had no idea what was going on.
So then, after the nanny, you were already dancing again.
Yes. So I was teaching in a dance studio and then a YMCA.
Dance classes.
Yeah. No,
What
Zumba.
kind of dance were you teaching? Ah, okay. So you
Zumba.
started teaching Zumba because your mom suggested. Okay. And how
Yes.
did you come up with your first class? The woman. Did you even follow the videos? What did you do?
I feel
I know where this is going.
like
Come out
um,
clean.
I think the universe and like God played such a big part in my early years because I was not doing what I was supposed to be doing as a Zen, as a Zumba instructor. What formula? I don't know formula. I didn't look at the DVDs. I made a routine to songs that I felt sounded Latin,
Thank you for
right?
saying it that way. You thought it was Latin because that's what many people do. And we're like, what? Why are you doing salsa steps to this?
Yes, I thought what I felt. um, but it's
God, but
also
you were
like
successful still.
when I first started, I was teaching at my church's, like they have a rec center area, and I offered the class for free. Like anybody can come, and I extended it to like my church members, and no one was coming except for my mom. So like while I was working through like, and you guys like they saw me once, it was like no, it was just nobody was interested.
Okay.
I kind of worked through things and work through dances, work through movement, and figure out like my style, what I liked, what I didn't like, with just my mom there. And she could give me like feedback because she's going to all these classes, right?
At this point, your mother knew more about the different rhythms than you.
100%. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So she was your leader.
Sense. Yeah. So,
And that's
yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
awesome. Shout out to mom.
Yes. We always give mom the props for getting me started because the other part of it was that, like, no one is coming. Why am I doing this? This is dumb. Like, I want to quit. And she was like, no, you're not going to quit. I am here. I am coming to this class twice a week. You're going to give me a class. She would not let me quit.
Like she really saw the potential in you for real. She didn't let you quit. So at which point did you start being aware that you needed to actually try to follow the Zumba format?
Okay, so my mom finally got one of her favorite instructors to come to one of my recreation center classes. So it was one day it was my mom and this random lady. And she was like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. We need to get you in the gyms. Like we need to get you in the circuit of doing stuff. And so then I started going to her class because I was like, okay, here's another Zumba person. Like, and she seems cool. So I went to her class, packed. Everybody was so excited. And I was like, what is this? And she was doing all the merengue, all the salsa, reggaeton, cumbia. Like she loved it all. And I was like, what are these
What's her
sounds?
name? We need to give
Her
her a
name
shout out.
her name is
Yeah,
Ave
because
Gibbs.
she was
Her
the
name.
one who finally showed you how to do it correctly. Well,
Mhm.
hopefully she was doing it
Yeah.
correctly.
Doing it correctly. But she was doing just like Latin, right?
Back then,
Yeah.
that's what we used to do. Zumba has evolved. Yes, perfect.
So then I was going to her class. She started like getting me on the sub rotation, all of that. And then she was like, oh, I want to have you on my team for a Party in Pink event that was happening. And I'm like, team event? There are more people? Okay, sure. Meet up with these other instructors for like a practice, met them. I was like, okay, more people. This is cute. This is cute. Like, yay. Get to the event, and I was like, this is a thing. Like, wow. Zumba is
How
a
many people?
thing. Over like 400 in
Wow.
one gym. It was insane. And the amount of instructors that we have in our area is a lot. And so there was like 50,
Where
60
is it that
instructors.
you are exactly?
I am in Hampton Roads, so like the Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, like that area. And so at this particular event, yeah, it was like 50 to 60 instructors all together. And I was like,
Amazing.
what is it? And then from that, I
Okay, so
found
what
out,
is going through your mind? Are you starting to get it that you can actually create a business out of this or not yet?
not yet. I was seeing it in the sense of like, there's more people that are doing this and there's more potential for me to like get more creative and like make up more things and actually try to learn how to do these rhythms and like go back and look at my trip. Actually look at some of these DVDs and see what's going on and all of that. It was
Okay,
more of an
but you were
inspiration.
still on the mindset of I am just learning dances and learning how to teach a class, but you're still not like visualizing a future. You're still
Yeah,
lost in life, not knowing what to do with your life. Okay, I like this.
exactly.
I like this. Because to be honest, I was lost in life until I was 26. And at
Yeah.
26, it happened that I became a mother. So for many years, I said, I think like when you become a mother, like it gives you such purpose in life that like life is no joke anymore. You'd better find a purpose because my life completely changed at 26. But then years later,
Um,
I find out that is the frontal lobe part of our brain that doesn't develop fully until we're 26. So then I'm like, oh, that's what it was. But I didn't know what to do with my life either. So
yeah.
at this point, how
Yeah.
old were you? Like 24?
Yes. Yeah. 24, 25.
Then you go back to teaching classes, and this lady, the other lady, helped you to get the gym.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So she helped me get my first official class at the Y. So then I started teaching there. And that's when I started going to other people's classes and seeing like all the different flavors that everyone had in our area. Like we are so full of people that have come from other places and bring that dance element to their class. There are people who just like this type of music. And again, I'm being exposed to stuff I've never even heard before. Like I didn't know what soca music was until I dove into this life. Like I didn't know these things. So I'm seeing how people move. Like, oh my gosh, I'm learning how to whine and like do things like that I've never done before. And so it was so much inspiration, so much excitement for a new way to move my body, a new way of dance. It was so cool.
So how many classes do you get into teaching after this? Quickly, you group the number of classes that you were teaching, or just a few?
Quickly I grew. So I was teaching almost every day at one point.
At this point, you're still not thinking of, okay, I get better paid if I teach this way, if I go and teach my private class at a studio. You're just having fun teaching classes because you're living with your parents, you don't have to pay rent, so you're still not like thinking of business wise.
Right,
Yes?
right. These gyms don't really, in my area, don't really pay us well. So it wasn't really a money thing. It was more of a I get to go and dance with all these different groups of people at different gyms. And then for the events, most of them were charity events or just like, let's just get together and have an event. So no one was getting paid for anything that we were doing. So it wasn't even a thought to make it a business. Like it wasn't a thought to make money off of this.
Did it ever come to your mind that it could be a business, or it just happened all of a sudden when you became the winner of the Rising Star?
I think it became a thought that it could become some sort of business during COVID. Because I think we all had to
Okay.
kind of adapt, figure out how can I still keep doing this thing? And then finding out that people are charging people like, oh, I can make money and not the money that I was making teaching.
But wait,
Go ahead.
because you were already married when the pandemic happened, right? Because you've been married
Yeah,
for 7 years.
that's right.
Meaning your husband married you knowing that you were not contributing that much financially. You were just teaching few fitness
Oh,
classes, but not getting paid that much.
well, I Zumba is a side hustle for me. I have a full-time job. I have a salary
I
paying
didn't
job.
know. What do you do?
So now I work at a medical school in the marketing department. So that's what I do full time.
Since when? For how long?
After the nanny job. And it was actually a Zumba student who hired me, got me the job.
Shout
Yeah.
out to Zumba for getting us other jobs. That's awesome. I
Exactly.
love it. And what
Yeah.
exactly do you do? Marketing for that particular office?
I am what's called a traffic coordinator. So I make sure that every single job that gets produced in our office gets sent on time. I connect with the clients, with vendors. I make sure things get paid, all of that. Trafficking of, I create order within the creative's chaos. That's my job.
And you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You
It's not my passion, but it's a steady job and I don't hate it. I work 2 days remotely and then 3 days in the office.
So in an ideal world, would you like to be able to quit this job and fully do Zumba?
In an ideal world, yes, but not just for Zumba. Like I would love to, focus more and, be able to do more classes like during the day or with kids. I so want to do Zumba kids so bad. But on top of that, like I just want to dive into other things. Like I have an idea for an actual dance class that I would love to dive into. And then just, we're talking about like building our family and all of that and doing my 9 to 5 job and doing Zumba at the same time would be a lot in trying to build a family. So I would like to leave one so that I can focus on the other two.
And when you say that you want to build your family, you guys want to have children soon.
Yeah.
So you would like to have more freedom,
Yes.
obviously, to
Yeah.
be available for your kids, same as your parents were available for you and your siblings. But if you create your own program, that's no freedom, girl. That's having a child. And you have
Yeah.
to put all your time and money and passion and creativity on trying to grow your own program. So
Yeah.
maybe if you're already very good in Zumba and you already have these followers and people looking at you and you are like at the moment that you're shining in Zumba, then why not taking it farther? You're already good at it. And then maybe this is what's going to give you the freedom for the family.
Yeah. I have some things like lined up in the process. Like I don't want to announce anything until it's like finalized, but I do have some things lined up that's probably going to lead me into the next year. I'm able to focus in one direction, which would be amazing because I think I could do a lot more and make a lot
Uh,
more impact with what I do.
but is that
Well,
Zumba related or kind of related? Somehow related? Okay.
it's both. It's business and Zumba at the same time. So
Okay. Amazing. When does it click or how does it happen that Now you're just having fun teaching Zumba classes. You became a better instructor. When does it click that you want to go further in the Zumba career to the point that you're motivated to apply for the next rising star?
When the first Next Rising Presenter came out, I didn't know about it. I still hadn't been to convention. I didn't know about convention when the first one happened. I
Of
didn't know
course.
about convention. That was my bunch of instructors here went to convention and they went live because Michelle Montano was there that year. And I was like, what is this? What are you guys? What is happening? Right? I was like, convention. So that was my realization into convention of like, oh, I want to go one year. But then that's when other people started telling me about Next Rising Presenter. Like, oh, this guy won. It's this new like project and session that Zumba's working with. This Next Rising Presenter, you should try out. You should try out. You should try out. And I was like, okay. So the first year was very like blase, like, all right, like I'll try it. Like, what can I like? There's no hurt in trying. And I still didn't
But
realize
now it
like
makes
how much.
sense because it's the same attitude you had when your mother made you become a Zumba instructor. You're like, okay. So now it's the same cycle. People are telling you, hey, apply for this. You're like, man, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was very, like I said, very blase. Like, okay, like what would it hurt to apply? Like, it's not going to do any damage. But I also didn't see how impactful it could have been on my career when I first, like, it was just for fun, right? And
You
then
had no
I
vision.
saw, no, no. And then the second time I saw, okay, let me see, these people are being able to like do bigger things and reach more people and like they're becoming jammers and all of that. And I start learning about these things. I'm like, well, I want to do that. Like, I would be a jammer. I want to travel. I want to be able to go places. Like,
Yeah,
that would be really cool.
finally you had a vision. Yeah, yeah. I'm
I
proud of you.
know.
You were probably 26.
Yeah. Literally works. It's totally yes. Yeah, because I was already sharing, like I was already making up my own choreo at this point, right? And I was sharing it on YouTube. So I have a whole YouTube station. People were using my stuff. And I was like, Jammer, you get to continue to do that, but on like a larger platform. It still wasn't even like clicking about the money or like the business side of it at all. It was just like, it's a bigger platform. And I can keep making up choreo. Like, I want to do that. I can do that. So the second time I applied was like, I really actually want this. Like, I can do this. Like,
Okay.
we're going to put
So
effort.
the first time,
Good.
because it was not that important, you were not devastated when you didn't make it because you were just like, whatever.
Right. And I was like, oh, okay. And then continued on and on. Sure. The second time,
Of course.
I see, like I said, I see a vision. I have a goal in mind, and I'm going to put all of that into this. And so when I didn't make it the second time, that was a lot more devastating than the first time, for sure. Like utterly devastating. Like, and I got
And because you
pretty
made
close.
it farther up, right?
Yes, I didn't. I made top. Well, nope, top 15. I think something like that. 15 or like 10. It was one of those. It was really close.
So they actually let you know that you're in this
Yes.
segment, the top whatever number.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they had asked me to send in like my Instagram information, like a photo, like headshot, like all of these things. So I thought like, oh, like I made it. Like they're gonna make the announcement. I made it. And to know that I didn't make it was devastating. Like it was really bad. I
You were
did.
already
And
very active in social media. Was this during the pandemic?
no, this was right before the pandemic. This was
Okay.
I applied the second time for 2019, I think. Because I did R2. So it was that time.
Do you
So
think that having a strong social media helps to get chosen? Perhaps because if I apply with a video and whoever is judging it which we know their names, are like, okay, we like this person, but let's compare and see how authentic they are seen. And the only way to measure that is by like comparison with their social media in their regular life, how they really are, how into Zumba they really are. Do you think it really helps?
I think it helps with, like you said, seeing how authentic you are and seeing how active you are with what you love to do, not necessarily how many followers you had. Because when I did finally make it, I had the lowest number of followers. Like I had like 1,000 something versus the others that had like 24 and 50 and like all of these. So the numbers don't really matter. It's really what type of content and what type of person you're putting yourself out to be online.
So how much did your social media grow after you won this contest? Like, it was it immediately overnight, or it's been progressive? No?
It has been, well, it has been a steady progress. Like I feel like everything I've been doing has been very like steady. I haven't had jumps, right? Which is, I kind of like that
Thank
because
God.
it
Yes,
feels
I
that
prefer it this way.
yeah, I'm working, I'm putting in the energy and effort instead of it just, it's
And because
very,
you know that you are growing it, because people like what they are seeing and
yeah,
they want to continue to receive the same things. But when you make it big all of the sudden just for one viral video, then people don't even know what to expect from you. And then you have this imposter syndrome immediately. True. How do I keep their attention? Right? Yeah. So
like,
progressive growth, much better. So which one gave you more push as far as followers on social media? Was it the winning the next rising star or the being on the Zoom volume?
in volume for sure. The Zen volume. And I think that makes sense because there are people that don't go to convention, so they wouldn't have known, or they're not really interested in that. So they have no need to know the people. But the Zen volume gets put out internationally to everybody. So yeah, I had the biggest growth from that, which was cool, but it still wasn't like a huge bump. Like it wasn't like thousands in a week. Like no.
Do you
So
think in the
again,
future maybe there's a possibility that they start airing live all the what we get to see at convention, the final five, and you guys performing, and then everybody votes live? Like if they were to open it live to all of the team members, that would be like legit, like American Idol. That would be amazing,
well,
right? Have they
yes.
considered that? Do you know?
I feel like it would make them even more anxious. I remember our year was the last year where it was just a session. Like you had to sign up for the session to get in. Now it's like part of closing. It's open to everybody. They put it in this huge ballroom, and I'm like, I would have never. And it was like I would have freaked out. All anybody, everybody, insane. It was crazy. So imagine opening it
But it's
up.
more
Not only that,
legit because it's
well,
really the whole
yeah,
Zine network choosing their star,
yeah,
not just the people that could afford the convention.
exactly. And it's also on a grander scale, like who can move an audience, and the audience being virtual or in person, who moves the people. So the more people that you have participating, the more you can see who is moving the crowd, who's rocking the crowd. Like that's important because people want to dance with who they enjoy, and people will connect with who they connect with. So the more people that are there seeing it
And
and
you fall
engaging
in
with it.
love with the story of each of the contestants. Because to be honest, I was never into the next rising star for the first few years until it was your year. So of course I got into it because I
Yeah.
was rooting for you. I was like, she's my baby. She took my rhythms too.
Right.
So obviously, and I knew other two contestants that were in the final five, and of course I was like very happy to see, very proud of all of you guys. You were all fantastic, the five of you. But if it wasn't
Yeah.
for you, I wouldn't have explored and realized how cool it is that we saw you guys and that we got to like fall in love. It's like each of you has a different narrative on the stage. You all connect with the crowd, but connect in a
Yeah.
different way. And we
Yes.
can see you a little bit of your personality. And then the fact that it was on a Friday, and then for the rest of the convention days, we will see you guys around, and we were like, oh my God, I'm rooting for you. That's so every time I saw you, I was like, I know you're gonna win. I know you're gonna win. But anyway,
Yes, you did.
and I was telling the others, I am so sorry I'm not voting for you. I'm voting for Morgan. I was telling everybody. So then the last day to be able to vote live and everything, and like it was
Yeah.
a whole experience. And because of how successful yours was, that's when it became a part of the schedule in the convention. So imagine all
Yeah.
the Zoom members being able to fall in love with you guys live. Oh my God, that would
Yeah.
be a trip. That would be amazing. We have
We'll
to
see. They
suggest
keep like
this awesome idea.
keep progressing it, making it more and more. So maybe they're working
Yes.
toward. Oh, you don't. It
Because
would be dope.
really, in reality, when you guys win, it's not that you're just seeing a random person winning. You're seeing yourself in that person. It's like when
Yes.
Socrates won. And Socrates is my
Mm-hmm.
Zumba baby from Maryland, and I've known him. He took the B1 training with me, and I knew he was amazing since the very first day. So when he won, obviously I love him, and I was so excited for him. But I was like,
Mm-hmm.
that's me there. That's all, every single
Yeah.
person in Maryland. That's all of us there. He's representing all of us. So that's
Yeah.
the beautiful thing that we get to connect with you guys at a different level. So yeah, making this bigger and online live, it would be an amazing idea. Hopefully they do it in the future. Okay, so you win the next Rising Star, and how does life change after that? Like specific
Um,
examples.
when I first won, it didn't change too much, actually. And I kind of felt, actually, to be honest, and I've shared this like publicly, but I've kind of felt a little defeated with it at first because I kept comparing myself to the other winners and the other experiences that they'd done, and I felt like from the response, I wasn't getting the same energy essentially. But then we got the Zen volume, so
What do
that's
you
something
mean?
that
You were not getting as much job opportunities as the others or as much
yeah,
exposure? Okay.
yeah, I wasn't getting as many job opportunities.
Based on
Mhm.
how much I've gotten to know you in the last 50 minutes, I would dare to say that is because you are not business oriented. I learned
Yeah.
this when I took a business seminar with Tony Robbins many years ago. And I learned that
Yeah.
we all have either one of three personalities, business personalities. That is what puts us in service to others. And based on that, we choose the different careers and the different jobs that we do. So the three business personalities are that you're either the talent. So you're not thinking of money. You're just developing your talent and you want to share it with people because you're the artist, which is you. And that's why I keep asking you, when did you think of money? It never came because that would be the other personality, which is the entrepreneur, the one that doesn't get attached to the service or the product. They just want to create a business, grow it, enjoy the success, sell it, and do the same with something else. Continue to grow more things. That's the entrepreneur. That's me. I'm business oriented all the time. And then there's the manager, the one that doesn't have the risky personality to work as an entrepreneur on their own. They need a salary, but they are amazing with organizational skills and with leadership skills, leading teams, so being the boss, a very good boss. So
Okay.
clearly, you are 100% the talent. And most of the time, we have a little bit of other too, but your strength is being the talent, right? So because you don't have this other personality, you needed a manager or an entrepreneur that will come and tell you, okay, this is what you have to do with all of this potential you have in front of you. This is how you're going to take advantage of it and take off with your career. So the others,
Mhm.
and because I know a couple of them already, they already
Mhm.
had business skills prior to
Yeah.
entering this contest. So
Yeah.
perhaps that's
Yeah.
why it was easier, or it seemed as if they took up faster, right? But I could totally
Yeah.
understand that you felt defeated. And on top of that, I was going to ask you, did it feel kind of like an athlete after they go to the Olympics, they win their medal, and they come back home and they are depressed? Because after being in such a high, like, tell me another experience that you have in life compared to being at the Olympics. Like, you're not gonna find that high anywhere unless, like, I don't know, you win the lottery or I don't know. So it's like, did it feel like that?
Right.
That when you came back from convention, the low was very low?
When I came back home from convention, like the community at home was super celebratory and they still are. And so I never felt that low being home
Okay,
because they still like, uplift me and stuff. So that was really cool because the whole thing, when you were talking about how people feel connected with us when we're up there, like they see themselves, I did and still get the comment that so many people saw themselves in me because I always say, like, I'm regular. Like, I don't speak Spanish. I barely know Spanish. I barely understand it. I just learned how to do salsa, like all these things. I'm regular. I'm just out here. I'm just a Black girl from Virginia doing it. And a lot of people can relate to that. They don't have that connection, like, to make them like, oh, Zumbified, you know what I mean? Or I get the comment that like, you're Zumba, but like you're different Zumba. I'm like, well, no, I'm Zumba. I express in a different way. And that's what we all should be doing. We're all different in our own ways in this program. But for people to see that you don't have to be or look this certain way to make it was huge. So at home, all this talent here, like we have an insane amount of talent here. And it felt like everyone was seen. Like with me winning for home, it was like winning for home. So that was really cool. Like I still get like emotional about it because it still is very deep. But in regards to expanding it, like how I want to, like I had this dream, like, okay, cool, I'll get to like travel, I'll get to go to these places. I've never been outside of the US except for like Canada and the Dominican Republic for my honeymoon. Like I've never been anywhere. So I'll get to go places. Like this will be so cool. And again, to like see other people getting booked and I wasn't getting booked. So that was kind of I again like very I don't know. I feel kind of defeated. Maybe people don't really want me or don't see like what I have to bring or want what I have to bring. But
uh-huh.
it was like you said, it was having to develop the okay, when are you gonna make this business?
Yeah,
Like when are
because
you gonna
you
make this
probably were expecting that the invitations from hosts were
good?
gonna come to you. In
Yes.
real life, that's not how it happens. And this is amazing for
No.
us to mention for whoever is thinking the same thing. You have to
50%.
create the connections.
Yeah, you have to create the
You
connection. Yeah.
have to go
50%.
talk to people. And when they tell you, my God, you are amazing, you immediately tell them, thank you so much. If you want, like, I come to you, let's organize a masterclass. You are the one who has to throw it. And they're like, really? You will come to my
Yeah.
place? Of course. Yes, I'm going to put it together and I'm going to make it happen. But you're the one that gives them the idea.
Yeah.
But you didn't know that. There should be an extra
Nope.
training on this part.
There should be a training on being a presenter. Honestly, it really should.
On the business skills of it. Yes.
But these are all the things that I'm learning as I go. When I first started, I didn't have anybody to like reference with for real. Like I knew people, but I still felt like, oh my gosh, like that's like, for example, okay, we're going to do the Zen volume. I know Ronnie, like he love him to death. My heart, like I love Ronnie, but it's still Ronnie. Like I can't like ask him about things. Like, oh my gosh, like I felt they're here and I'm here. Like I can't. So that still is kind of a thing, kind of, but I've had people now that have kind of taken me under their wing a little bit and really like helped guide me through a lot of stuff. And like, yes, I have made super mistakes and I've learned from those. And so now I know how to move forward with, this whole journey of being hosted and being paid, like all of that. But if I didn't have the help that I did, probably
Yes,
would still be.
girlfriend, because how in the world are you gonna know how to now negotiate a fee? How are you
Or-
gonna know how it works if you don't have somebody
and
telling you?
yeah, like don't know anything.
Like I remember when I started, the master classes were not even a business. Like it was just
Mm,
picking up. Only Beto was doing master classes, and all of a sudden, another Zumba instructor, Nathan Blake, was the one who started the business of the master classes with the members, other than Beto, because otherwise it would be only Beto teaching. And then he started this, and
right.
for 2 years he was the only one traveling the world teaching master classes, and we were all observing him like in awe. This guy has got some business skills. Like, look at him. He's getting paid like Beto. People sell tickets to his class. So then Beto was like, and you can do it too. And then he was the one who got me a contact. Somebody had hosted him in Indiana for a class. I'm actually going to get together with her next month. Claudia, shout out to Claudita. And then he was like, hey, you need to host Maria Browning for a master class. And I was petrified. He's like, but Beto, he said, he was the one like, you can do it. You're going to do the same class you teach at the gym. You just go teach it there. They sell tickets and you're going to charge $1,500. And I was like, what? No, no, I feel bad. Like, no, how am I going to charge this much?
So
And he's
bad.
like,
Yeah.
it's fine. They sell tickets and they get the money. Don't worry. That's what you're going to charge. And I even felt like I didn't deserve to get paid that much. But you definitely need to have somebody telling you this is how much you're worth. This is how much you're going to charge. And this is how the business works. So, girl, if you were trying to do this on your own, my poor baby, I feel so
Right.
bad for you.
I was getting got. That's what I call. I got. Okay. Was. I almost didn't get paid one time. Like I had to fight with the host to get payment. They booked my flight crazy, like this crazy flight. Like I just had so many things. And then for what I was charging, I remember I finally told, was it, I think Ricardo, how much I was charging for class. And he freaked out on me. He was like, how dare you? Absolutely not. No, you don't charge that less. What are you doing? I don't know. I don't know.
Poor
He
baby.
never charged because I was charging what I thought it was worth, and also what I put so much stock in like the other people because I was like, this is Zumba. Like you shouldn't be. I still have that mentality. No one should ever be going into debt for doing a master class. Like, no, like relax, right? But I was putting way too much stock in them of making money versus me making money. Like I was like, you like if we're gonna do this, like you need to make all the money. And like, it's fine, I'm good. I don't even know if people are gonna like me. Like it was a lot of
I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
yes, just get me. I so many, just get me there. Like you don't have to pay me, just get me there. Like so many of those. Yeah. And it
Okay, so
wasn't
it
until
was
I got
Ricardo who brought you out of ignorance as far as
it
business.
was multiple people because we were sitting
Okay,
like
shout
in
out
a
to
group.
Ricardo.
Cardo, it was Jonathan, Benoit, Anna. They were all like, what? Livid. Livid. And so I was like, okay, cool. And then word spread. So then I think one of them, I'm still not sure, but one of them told, hey, it was Steve. And then he came in and was like, what are you charging? Like everybody was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't
Poor baby.
know.
And guys, I'm so glad we're mentioning this. Whoever is listening, like business skills don't come natural for many people. And that's why last week my podcast interview or conversation was with Pedro Camacho from Dominican Republic. I wish I could have put the translation in English, but it was in Spanish. And it was all my questions to him was like teach everybody your business skills because the dude is a
Yep.
natural. He just thinks business. He sees opportunities wherever he goes. And he's like, wow, blows my mind. Yes. So this is like very important for people to know how to handle their success because otherwise the success means pretty much nothing if you cannot
Exactly.
bank on it,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. So I'm very thankful for those people to kind of like snatch me. And then that's when my husband, because he was trying to like just let me be happy and like live my life. This is her dream to like travel and do all these things. But once I told him like, yeah, I got bust out for my fee and blah, blah, he was like, all right, I'm stepping in now. Cause he's the business one. He's the business. He was like,
Yes.
I let me see your contract. Let me see this. Blah, blah, blah. How much you charging? Nope, we're not doing that
Oh,
anymore.
thank
You need to have
God.
all these things. Like he got me together. And so now it's a lot more streamlined. Like he's the business person. I'm the talent, but I'm also more organized than he is. So while he's telling me all these things and stuff, I have the templates of the contracts loaded. I do all that. Like I make sure everything is in line before I leave. But now I needed somebody to tell me what that looks like. I didn't have anybody to tell me what that looks like. So yeah, it was good.
So
It
you're
was good.
doing better now, but do you still need to reach out more to people? Like, for example, second year after you won your contest, the following year we show up at Zumba convention and there's huge banners with Morgan's face everywhere at convention. And I just thought immediately, I am so happy for her. Her masterclass business is gonna take off and the whole world is gonna want to host these girly classes. So did it help at all or no? You wasted that promotion as well.
I again, it's everything's been steady. So the first year I had multiple bookings. Like I definitely had more than when I first won. So my first year after convention after winning, I had more than the following year. This year I had more than last year. So it is steadily building. And I think with using, I'm learning how to use the opportunities I'm given. I'm so thankful for Zumba to continue putting me out on that platform too, because the more I'm seeing like on a corporate level, the more people feel like they're going to get a specific experience, a specific exposure. They're going to get Zumba from me. And that's great too. I think it puts more trust in the masterclass with what I can bring. So I'm working on that. I think my new challenge is like, what else can I bring? Because I'm finding that a lot of people want to host, but they're also like, but what else can you do? So like they want,
Like they want you to do a workshop on something.
yeah.
Ah, but that's easy for you,
And
girl. You can teach a workshop on anything.
that's the new wave, right? The new wave is workshops. And I don't, two things. Number one, I don't want to do something that everybody's already doing. Like everybody's already doing
Mhm.
it. Everybody's already, like, I want to offer something different. I want to offer something that's more of a technique based versus choreo based, but it's something that isn't for Zumba specifically. It is something that is to apply to anything that you do, whether it's dance choreo, whether it's Zumba, whether it's another dance fitness format. I want something more technique based that can apply to everything. So I'm working on that. And then on
Okay,
top of that,
can I
but
give you advice?
yeah,
Because you are such a trained dancer and professional, you think that
no,
what people want is dance technique,
no, no,
and
no.
that's
So
not true.
it wouldn't be dance technique. It's not that. It's more of like the expression of dance because I feel like a lot of people let's move and like don't have intention, don't know how to like express the music or the choreo or anything properly
Okay.
because they don't hear it
Uh-huh.
or they don't about intention. And so I want to dive more into that, but make it like very inclusive, very friendly for anybody to take and be able to feel successful from it. So I would love to do
Okay.
something like that because that's a gap, a huge gap. When I see it all the time, I'm like, man, like if this person would just like hear the vibe of the song, like if they could just connect with that, that would change the way that they teach it in class. If this person
Mhm.
just like connect more with the words, that would change how they do the
I
choreo
agree,
and
but let's
like
be real. In the Zumba world, we have 90% of great instructors.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't require for you to be an amazing dancer for you to be a great instructor. And there's only a 10%
Yeah.
that are amazing dancers, trained dancers, blah, 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 right? So for those that are just great instructors, having such an amazing expression of dance for all of the things you do is not that necessary. The
Mm-hmm.
reason why I'm telling you
Yeah.
this is because I've gone through the process that as well. I also developed my own programs and I developed Fit Kizomba, and I was trying to teach people something unique that Zumba does not teach. And I was thinking all the things you're thinking, that like the market is saturated. How can I bring something different? And in reality, if you make it more basic, you welcome more people. You make it for everybody. So people just want
Mm-hmm.
to be mesmerized by seeing you dancing and memorize your choreographies and feel that they look like Morgan when they do it. It really doesn't matter if they don't look
Mm-hmm.
that cool, but they think they do it because they know they learned it from you. So sometimes we just get too carried away trying to think and being so specific in something particular to create. When in reality, you're just by being you, is so awesome and inspirational, and that's what people are willing to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, do that
Yeah,
idea you have, but also offer something more general as well. A workshop in whatever it is that they see you dancing. What's the one style that people tell you that they want to learn from you the most? Maybe Afrobeat, maybe, I don't know.
it's
No,
just crazy
hip hop.
because I'm Afrobeat. Like, I'm like, I don't know. What are you talking about? It's like, what are you talking about? Afro, you want to learn Afrobeat from me? Yikes. Every time, I'm like, no, I am not the one for that one. That's not me. I
But
don't
you
know. I
are,
don't,
because you look amazing doing it. Then therefore we want to do it like you. So teach us your choreography. We do it like you.
it's a mirage. It's a lie. It's all smoky mirrors.
But it's only our own imposter syndrome. Because then we start thinking, but I am not the legit one. I'm not the one you need to look for. But it's in our head. So you have to overcome that and understand if that's what appeals to people, if that's what they want from me, then just have fun teaching it. That's my advice. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Still has to feel good for me to put it out. Like at the end of the day, like I'm still like creative and I'm still like an artist in that sense. So I want to give the people something that makes them feel good too. Like not just to like look like me, but feel good for you too. So that's like the main crux of whatever I'm gonna do. That's what it is. Like so I just have to figure that out. But the other part of it is that workshops not really look well upon right now within Zumba. And so I've been
Why?
asked to not do workshops because there's direct competition with jamming right now
With jam sessions.
from what and I don't want
Yeah, I
to
get it. Unless it is in a rhythm that Zumba is not teaching. I get it. Because that was the only way I got
maybe
away with the Fit Kizomba. Is because Zumba was not
yeah
teaching that. And then after that, they came up with the Kizomba jam session. But I started my program first. So yeah,
yeah
that's going to be
yeah
the challenge.
so I and
I
also on top
agree.
of
I
it like
agree.
I the program so much like when I really started getting into Zumba and like going to jams, I was like, oh, like this is like again, I wanted to be a jammer. So I don't want to cross with anybody. I don't want to mess with anybody else's business structure by just being out here doing whatever. Like it's a respect level for me. So it's
So do you still
again
want
like
to become a jammer?
I do. I do. I would
So
love to.
you're, are you applying for it?
I did apply. Yes, I applied.
And you still don't know
So
if
we'll
you
see.
made it?
Don't know yet. Don't know
Suspense.
anything yet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
Big suspense.
tell me how it was when you received the news that Zumba was inviting you to be the master of ceremonies for the kickoff session at Zumba convention.
Insane. I just finished teaching one of my classes. Nancy calls me. Hey, how you doing? I'm like, I always get nervous when Nancy calls me because I feel like I did something wrong. Like all the time. Like I feel like I'm in trouble with it. Oh crap. She was like, no, you're in trouble. I was like, I don't know, because I run my mouth. So I feel like you're calling me to tell me to shut up. Like, you know? So now, like, we love you. We've been watching, everybody loves you, and we would love for you to participate as a co-host for kickoff. And I was like, the what? For what? Like, it didn't register. So I'm like, I know she didn't just say that. Because that job is very much, you have your Loretta, Ricardo, who Steve, like
Steve.
these people that have done it. Like, and then you want me as a just regular, like, what? And then she was like, well, you wouldn't be by yourself. I've asked Mansoor to do it too. And I was like, two things. Number one, Mansoor. Number two, me and Mansoor together are shenanigans. Like, we are met together. So you want both of us on the stage. You're going to give us mics and let us.
Are you sure?
Yes. Are you sure? Have y'all really thought this through? She's like, we think it would be amazing. We love you guys' chemistry. And I'm like, okay, y'all are really taking a chance here. And it really did feel it. And she said that. She was like, we are taking a chance.
Where did
A lot.
did this come from? Had you presented anything with Mansoor already?
We had done a couple of classes together virtually, but me and him have developed like a friendship like outside of Zumba. And that has translated, like it spills over because we work together, like whatever. And I think people just really like our friendship. And then Zumba noticed it, like, oh, they're like friends. Like, yeah. So
So how far in advance is this invitation before convention?
we got the invite, I think it was February or March. February or
Okay,
March.
so enough time for you to freak out for months.
Mhm. Yes. And more than enough time. And the whole thing was like, they were like, we're not going to announce who it is because usually they announce who your kickoff hosts are, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to announce. It's going to be a surprise. So I was even more like, these people are going to be looking for Steve Booth, okay? And they're going to get, I don't know, we want to surprise.
Yes, like, are we gonna come on the stage and everybody's gonna be like,
Exactly.
really?
Like, wow. Yeah, where I don't know. So like, oh, God, it's gonna be a surprise. Okay.
Jesus, so you were super nervous even before getting on the stage? Oh my
Yes,
God,
I
were
was
you able to
nervous.
sleep the day? Because I know you guys practice for hours the day before or the couple of days before, right?
Me and him, so we sat and read through the script with the team for the first time we got the script. They made little edits, yada, yada, yada. And me and him would like call each other and go through the scripts, add in our own little quips, like how we would talk to each other, but how we would talk to them to talk to each other. So we made our own edits, all of that. So we had time to prep. We had time to memorize. We practiced together. He came here the week before convention. So he stayed in my home. So we practiced while he was here. We had all the preparation time, but nothing prepares you for the moment. Like nothing prepares you for the moment. And we were excited and anxious because we were like, this is a big deal. Like this is a huge deal. And not only do we
Yes.
not want to mess up, but we also want to prove that they made the right decision and they made good picks in picking someone different than they have
Of
all these years.
course, I would be more concerned about that, like to proving that they didn't make a mistake choosing me. Yes.
Exactly.
Oh my God, the level of anxiety. Oh Jesus.
Yep.
Okay, so you were anxious the whole time until the end,
Mhm.
or as soon as you got on the
Mhm.
stage the first time, it was like, okay, I got it.
Nope. I was anxious the whole time. The whole time. We had our scripts and on backstage, and we would still like every time we went off and like there was something else happening, we would go and like read the script for the next part real quick. Like, okay, we remember what we're supposed to do. Okay, okay, all right, we're ready. Like, and go back and be like, yeah. Like we in constant fight or flight the whole time. the whole
So
time.
was this even more stressful than the last performance to win the next Rising Star?
Yes, 100%.
Of course, because at least you were dancing, and once you're dancing, you get carried away. But this one is just talking. This one is like presenting you, yourself. You're not masking it with a shake and a shimmy. It is the real
Yep,
deal.
yep. It
Wow.
is just me and a mic. Yes. So a lot more
So how do you
stressful.
think you did? Did you like the way you did it, or you think you could do it
Yep.
better, or what was your take? What did you tell yourself right after?
Right after, I didn't have much time to process because I had a master class right after opening session. So I like had to
Mm.
run over there. But like I had stuff to do all convention. So I didn't really get to process like how I was feeling right after. I do remember getting choked up like at the very end because it was we were saying thank you to the people for like having us and letting us host. And that hit me because again, it's like this could have been anybody else. And the fact that home office believed in us, the upper heads didn't really know us. And so they're banking on their opinion of us. And we have to prove that. And I feel like we did. And we didn't mess up and we moved the opening session along and we finished on time and we did all the things that we needed to. And me and him had fun doing it and felt that connection with it. All of that like came in that moment. And so I kind of choked up and I was like, please do not cry on this stage right now. Like you are doing so well and we have to end on time. Do not cry. Literally. But I think we did well. Our feedback was great. Perlman came up to us afterwards and like raved, like such a good job. And then he came again, caught me at the very end of convention and was like, I didn't know who you were. So when they said Morgan Brown, MoJo, she was like, who is that? No. He was like, he admitted, he was like, at first I was like, no, I don't know who that is. No, 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 no. And it took Nancy being like, trust me, trust me. And so it's the fact that they had trust in me and he trusted them and it all came together and he was happy made all the difference. It felt so good. It felt so good.
Did Nancy ever tell you why she made the decision on you? Because we can understand Mansoor. Mansoor has been a top presenter for several years. He's a total beast when it comes to dancing. It's unbelievable. But you are still the new one,
No,
right? So did she ever tell you exactly like, I saw this and that's why
yeah,
I chose you?
she did because I asked her. I was like, "Why me?" And I asked her when she first offered it. I was like, "Why?" She said because you have such a connection with the people that not a lot of people have. She was like, especially within Next Rising Presenter, we haven't seen people be so connected to someone before like this. And like you represent the people so much and we feel like they would be so happy to see you. If it's not going to be the Steve and Loretta, at least it's somebody like I know her, I love her, like I know we're friends, like online, like all of that. I feel like we're best friends in my head. Like that would mean so much to people. Like that's what you represent within Zumba. And that felt like that's my goal. Like I don't the clout and the fame, like, is cool, but that's fleeting. That can go at any moment. So, what have I contributed to people and the community as a whole? And what have I contributed to people individually to like make them feel seen, make them feel special, make them feel welcomed within this space? Like, what every time I teach, how do I get to do that? Anytime I get to go somewhere and meet people, not even dance, just meeting them, how can I do that? How can I leave that impact and also leave myself and show them like, you don't have to be perfect and proper. Like, no, just be you. So that,
I
that
also
was a
would
big,
dare to say that your social media and the way you handle your social media helped you a lot to land this job because
really,
you don't, in my eyes, because I've been following you since before you became the winner of the contest, you show your dancing skills, you show you teaching classes, You
Mhm.
motivate people, but also you take the time to be silly, to be goofy, but also you take the time to be serious and to have serious talks with people, honest talks
Yeah.
with people, which is rare because most people just want to grow their social media channel. So they are only posting
Yeah.
dance, 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 because if you post something else, that's not what appeals. So you're going to lose followers or you're going to lose engagement. But you have never been, or so I think, I've never seen you with the goal of, I'm going to grow my social media. No, you're just like genuinely connecting with people, and you're like, okay guys, today we're gonna have a serious talk about this and that and that, and another day you're just saying a joke, and another day you're teaching. So also the voice is something else, it's another you, that you are allowing people
Mhm.
to get to know you and to hear your voice through your social media. If you had not done that, I don't think it would be that obvious that you were going to be so well spoken and to be able to connect with people when you're talking. So I think it has been
True.
brilliant that you have handled your social media this way, even though you didn't do it in purpose to get to a goal. You did it as a
It feels
talent.
like my journey is that. I didn't do this on purpose. I just just haven't. And it's working. So let's keep doing this. Like I'm very much a creature of habit as well. So that's why the same way I've been posting since pre-COVID, since teaching virtual, like is still the same way that I post. Like you're gonna get a video of me teaching virtually every week. Because that's what I do every week. You're gonna get a video with my class. I've been doing videos with my class since YouTube days. Like if I can get them to get in a video with me, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna be silly. Like it was fun during COVID to do that. We're all being silly online because we have nothing else to do. I'm still gonna do it. Like it was funny. So let's keep doing it. Like it's what works works. And I like you said, like I'm not really worried about the growth of it all. Like I don't have this goal to reach 500,000. Like no, I don't. I wouldn't even know what to do with that many people. The amount of people that go in my DMs, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm stressed. Like I have to answer every message. I can imagine having
I know. I feel
thousands.
anxiety. Sometimes I don't want to post because I'm like, I know if I post this, people are going to DM me and I don't have the time to reply right now. And I enter into anxiety when I see DMs that I haven't replied.
So much. I learned how to turn off my notifications on Instagram. So when I do post and like, it doesn't show up on my actual phone screen because that was driving me crazy. Like I was like, oh my God, it's everywhere all the time. I can't. So it is. It's like I'm good with the steady growth and I feel like I can connect more to people with this steady growth versus I have a goal of 500. Let me post as many dance videos and TikTok videos as I can. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Totally overwhelming.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing all of this. I think uh, I learned a lot through your experiences, and I am absolutely proud of you. Seeing you being the host of the kickoff session this year at convention was just so perfect. It just felt so
Mm,
right. And you were
yeah.
both so natural, yet you had the energy and the projection that you needed to have as presenters, but you were both just in your element. And that was very
Thank you.
refreshing. So,
Thank you.
congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
success. Congratulations on all your mistakes and struggles that you keep constantly learning from and making it better. It's
Yes.
beautiful
Thank
to be
you.
able to witness you still, because
Mhm.
this is the thing that people don't understand. We're like, oh, she won, then she must be up there already. But it's like, no, you still struggle so much because you don't know anything about the business when this comes to you, and you keep sharing it with everybody, because I know you do your live sessions and you share with everybody from your own experience. You train them on how to apply for the next rising star and for the Zoom volume and all of these things. So you're bringing something that nobody else was doing in the Zumba world, and it was needed. So thank you for doing that
Thank
for all of our Zoom members, and thank you for being you and continuing to inspire us from being you.
you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being so genuine, mi amor. Thank you so much. There you have it. I told you it was going to be a eye-opening conversation, realizing that sometimes what we assume to be obvious is not, and how much we need to constantly listen to advice and reach out to advice from others. No matter which level we are at, we need to have coaches throughout our life if we want to continue to make the best of the opportunities that have been given to us. I believe that's the biggest takeaway from this conversation. If you guys enjoyed this conversation, please take a moment to click on follow on Spotify or subscribe on YouTube so that you can help me to grow this beautiful project and we can continue to enjoy these weekly conversations. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week.